Something else that I want to talk about with the logo is something that I was thinking about putting off until the American culture breakdown video that I'm going to be doing. Update on that, by the way, is that I went through a period of time where I was like, maybe it should be its own website and I can just make interrelated links, but that's crazy because that's not accessible. I mean, it would be, but it would be far less, I think it's easier just to make a video in the way I wanted. But anyway, I didn't necessarily want to talk about this yet, but you know how, well, maybe you don't, but a lot of people who take a conspiracy-esque lens to, the dark forces at play will break down the logos of large corporations in order to show how there is symbolism embedded in all of them that speaks to satanic ritual abuse, even pedophilia, and all different kinds of things. We've got 666 and that number, like repeating digits in numerology, right? What I think, it's like resembling of the misusing of secret knowledge that's been kept hidden and used to manipulate things on Earth. And what's coming into my mind, it's fear of the thing. It's a Hermione Granger quote from Harry Potter. Fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself, referring to Voldemort. So, in the same way that, like, Amber Rose is she's the mother of rapper Wiz Khalifa's children, and is like an internet OnlyFans, former stripper, and she talks about co-opting and kind of taking back the word slut to empower women and talk about how it's okay to be sexual as a woman. I could critique all sorts of things, but that's not the purpose of this. It's the same way with Black culture and the N-word, taking it back and the frequency of it in lyrics. I could ask AI to scan the rap charts and tell me how many times that comes up. It's going to be like hundreds of times probably. Makes me think of a conversation that I recently had with a person of color, a Black man. And he was talking about what we were both discussing. And I appreciate it. I've never heard somebody who's African American say this, but it's my thought. And he agreed. So I thought that was interesting because it made me realize that I had never heard anybody else say it. But it's like, on the one hand, you are taking back something that was used in an oppressive way to defy the power that had over you or the group that you represent. But as people using these words carry all the history of all the times that they were ever used and for what reasons. I'm always thinking about the evolution of language and how it came to be that we can even communicate with words in so many different ways, and how there are certain phrases, complicated, beautiful phrases. Many that come to mind for me are like Japanese, but they don't really have a an exact or proper translation in another language, such as English. It's really all about reality framing devices. Ways to help one another, but also ourselves, understand the organization of the world. So there's a notion around a lot of stuff hidden in plain sight, or like cosmic law, really. This has to do with the Galactic Federation, or ET beings being very present in earthly affairs, but you would never know it for all the stuff that has not happened. For instance, the end of the world entirely in 2012. I'm not sure, all of the stuff around the word apocalypse and all that, and the movie that came out around that time, and how people were in a little bit of a tizzy around what might happen because of these Mayan prophecies and stuff. That is not what those prophecies said. I will insert a visual so you can see something that I drew the night before December 21st, 2012, because I was waiting for this event. It was the beginning of a really long journey for me, but I drew this that night because it's the alignment that hasn't happened in thousands of years, forms the cosmic cross in the sky. And I do think that there was something done on Earth to kind of counteract an alignment that's taking place now. I think that the time that has passed since 2012 was something of a deviation in timelines, but it doesn't mean that we're not continuing to manifest through it. Like, in some ways, there was a deterrence plan that was effective, in my opinion. But back to the N-word and this conversation I had, I said, we were both talking about it would be better if we just stopped using it. It doesn't really, to keep it in the dialogue continues to reignite that strong lineage of the term that carries a lot of pain and harm. And with 666, it's interesting because you can easily extract in the same way that we can do with the logos who are covertly, you have to disclose things in plain sight under cosmic galactic law. So what it turns into in Hollywood and the upper echelons of the elite world that are playing these games, really, it's like a mockery of being able to demonstrate it while knowing that it's impenetrable. So many different clips of people saying things that are very cryptic when you read into the subtext come to mind. But, get to that at another point, maybe. The number, like the numerology of it, for me, like if I saw it as an angel number or synchronicity, it's like something's out of balance. I need to come back into balance. I need to remember that I'm a soul having a human experience. It is affiliated with the devil because it is a number of the human in our earthly form, but it's like affiliated with the control structures because it's the control prism. It is the set of numbers that adorn many of the things that constitute the control prisms. I meant to say prison, but prisms works too. In the world right now. That's why I believe that you see it and can, detangle it out of these logos pretty easily. So am I embodying that with my logo? I feel like I'm co-opting it. And the whole purpose of the channel is to speak out against what I think is limiting humanity. So in some ways, could see it as a reversal of the fact that there are so many things that are shoved in people's faces that it's as if humanity is easily controlled and oblivious to a lot of deeper things. So just trying to kind of not bypass all of those things, but just know that moving in a new direction, and when I say bypass those things, I mean I think it does matter who you choose to support, like celebrities, what you choose to embody and display. So I just wanted to clarify that because there is a purpose to it and I am aware of it. It would be awfully ironic if I wasn't aware of it, but as with anything, I mean, the whole process with the logo and the logo and the channel, it's channeled. It's channeled and it comes through me, and I realize things about all of the stuff I do later. So I didn't realize it right away, but I think a lot about symbol and embedded symbols. So little note on that.